Hello, I'm back again. Ready for round two. This is what happens when you have faulty equipment. I'm in need of a new microphone, new webcam, probably a new computer. I don't know. It's all good. I'm making the best of what I've got. So, we are here today on Friday, July 8th. I'm going to give an oracle card message from the goddess deck, the fairy deck, my mermaid deck, and do a free four-card tarot reading, and I hope everybody can hear me. I did have to restart due to technical difficulties, but I want to just jump right in here. And I'm going to be drawing from Karen Kay's Oracle of the Fairies deck first. It's a beautiful, beautiful deck, Oracle of the Fairies. Artwork is by Ginger Kelly. So let me shuffle these cards. Thank you, Spirit. What message do you have for the collective today? What message do you have from the Oracle of the Fairies? Thank you, Spirit. What message do you have? Hello, Sam. Yes, I am on round two. I hope you all can hear me. And Lisa, I did send you a message. I'm not sure if you got it on Instagram. I wanted to know if you have a projected release date from the hospital. Our message from the fairies is right here, and it is find balance. Find balance. And here's our beautiful balance fairy. Find balance. And look at all of these little things on her desk. Doing a lot of magical work here. Candles, studying, little fairy lights everywhere. Almost looks like she's the fairy of Hogwarts or something. Find balance. So let's see. And those, I love her little translucent fairy wings. And let's see. Find balance. Find the balance between your work, rest, and playtime, and you will have more energy, harmony, and productivity in your life. Take a power nap. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. You've probably heard this before. You probably heard it in like the number one horror movie of all time, The Shining. Not sure what business that has in the middle of a fairy oracle card reading. I digress. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. You've probably heard this before. Does it apply to you or someone you know? Are you working too hard and not allowing enough time for rest and play? I'm sorry. I'm laughing because all I can picture now is Jack Nicholson in The Shining. like, is this our message? Take a break, take a nap, and rest. You're going to turn into Jack Nicholson from The Shining. Oh my gosh. That is a great horror movie. It is like the number one horror movie every Halloween. Okay. Does it apply to you or someone you know? Are you working too hard and not allowing enough time for rest and play? Are you feeling bored? Or are you in danger of becoming boring? Be truthful with yourself when answering. Even though fairies are known to be super hard workers, they also know how to rest and play. The fairies are flying in now to remind you to take a break and give your body and mind a well-deserved rest. The problem with work is that once you've completed one task, there's always another waiting, a bit like housework. But even though it may feel as though you need to rush to get everything done, taking some time out can actually give you more energy to complete the task at hand. That is so true. And many of us, we know how to multitask. And some of us, we feel guilty, like, oh man, I'm so tired. I'm just going to sit down and take a break. Because you do run into that danger of like, I might not get back up again. But many times taking that break, even taking a nap, the older we get, the more naps we take. It's funny, as babies, we sleep all day. The older we get, when into our 80s or 90s, we need that sleep again. But taking that sleep, that power nap really is very, very beneficial to bringing balance and harmony into our lives. But even though it may feel as though you need to rush to get everything done, taking some time out can actually give you more energy to complete the task at hand. Fairies love to snooze, and they're telling you that 40 winks in the afternoon, also known as a power nap, could be beneficial for you. The strong message here is to get some rest. This card could also be saying that you're playing too much. Perhaps you're procrastinating when you ought to be working. you need to be really honest with yourself about this, as only you will know if you have the right balance of work, rest, and play in your life. I just have to say, I don't know why I'm getting all this movie imagery from that reading, but did you see Cruella, the Disney movie Cruella? I absolutely love the Disney movie Cruella. That was like my favorite movie of last year. And Emma Thompson, just she was so spot on with her character. But do you remember her power naps? She'd get her cucumbers and she'd put them on her eyes, and then she'd be like, "Okay." It was like a 2 minute power nap, and then that one scene where she like takes the cucumbers and flings them at the guy. But that was a very good message, all about balance. But it really had me laughing. As soon as it broke into Jack Nicholson's "All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy." Okay. And we're going to go to messages from the mermaids. Now, again, I was joking around a bit, but our message today so far from Spirit is about balance, finding that sweet spot between work and rest, and being honest with ourselves. If we're working too much, some of us become, workaholics. And then also, are we procrastinating? Are we actually being lazy? Are we being slothful? Are we not working when we're supposed to be working? And that is our Two of Pentacles, right? Our Two of Pentacles is knowing how to juggle that, how to juggle our family lives, our work lives, and keep everything all in balance. So we do know how to, put our nose to the grind. Isn't that it? Put your nose to the grindstone or grind. Well, I don't know what I'm saying, but work hard when you have to work hard, and then make sure that you have time to rest and relax when it's time to rest and relax. And many times our rest and relaxation is actually recuperation. So we should never feel guilty about taking that time, as long as that rest and relaxation is also in balance. So I'm curious to see if our message from Spirit in the four card tarot reading will have some of this theme running. If we're going to see like the Temperance, if we're going to see Two of Pentacles, things like that. But let's see what the message from the mermaids is. And again, this is from Karen Kay with artwork by Linda Olson. The artwork is so pretty. Artwork by Linda Olson on this deck. So thank you, Spirit. What message do you have from the mermaids today? What message do you have for the collective from the mermaids? Thank you, Spirit. What do the mermaids want us to know? What do the mermaids want us to know, Spirit? Thank you. What do the mermaids want us to know? And right here, as you can see on the back of these cards, is this beautiful mermaid shell. And our card is Inner Knowing. Interesting. Inner Knowing. Hello, Lorraine. How are you? So let's get this message. Inner Knowing. This is the moment to trust your inner knowing. The stage of doubting is over, and it's time to believe in yourself. This mermaid has the look of inner knowing, and she's swimming into your reading today to affirm that you have access to this inner knowing too. It's about believing in yourself and trusting your intuition, which is a powerful tool in life. When you believe in this inner knowing, you'll see stagnant areas of your life begin to flow again as you trust your ability to quote unquote know things. Are you always doubting your intuition? Perhaps you're in denial about something that deep down you know to be true. Allow yourself the freedom to trust this innate instinct, also known as your gut feeling. Acting on your inner knowing is the correct course of action. Sometimes it might not make sense on a rational level, yet deep inside, at the core of your being, you know that you're correct. This isn't arrogance, it's having confidence in your ability to trust in yourself. I'm going to take this one step further, because it is our solar plexus that gets developed through psychic development that is actually part of our clairvoyance, our clairsentience. When our solar plexus is open and spirit is coming through our major energy centers, our inner knowing, those gut feelings, aren't just our instinct. It's not just our intuition, but it's us actually receiving divine messages from spirit. It's psychic awareness. And yes, on a surface level, our higher wisdom, higher learning, intuition is psychic, but it can also be, straight up clairvoyant psychic. So your inner knowing, learning how to trust your it's more than your intuition. It's learning how to hear from your spirit guides. Um, because the more you develop your psychic skills, you're going to be, this was not my instinct. This, because instinct is more of, something that's inbred in us as being part of the animal kingdom. That's what instinct is. And that's a little bit different than our spirit guides divining information into us. And that is also going to come through our solar plexus. So, and for example, if you were, and I was talking about this earlier on Fractal Flowers, if you were supposed to get on an airplane and all of a sudden you're hit with this feeling, I know for some reason I'm not getting on that plane. I just have a feeling not to get on that plane, right? Um, I don't say that's your instinct. Okay, so I'm going to disagree a bit here with the messages from the mermaid, and this is coming from my place as a psychic medium. Okay, I believe that our spirit guides are dropping information into us saying don't get on that plane, and therefore we're picking it up, and that's where that feeling is coming from. So I don't feel that is, I feel instinct actually comes from us as being humans. And I think that when spirit is dropping information into us, that's coming from spirit, coming from an outside source. I don't feel our instinct comes from an outside source, if that makes sense. I feel like our instincts and our intuition are internal. And then I feel that spirit gives us outside information to those that have their ears open to hear it, if that makes sense. So, acting on your inner knowing is the correct course of action. Sometimes it might not make sense on a rational level, yet deep inside, at the core of your being, you know that you're correct. This isn't arrogance, it is having confidence in your ability to trust in yourself. Again, I want to just kind of differentiate with this, because sometimes I think people, especially people who are psychically in tune, start to feel like it's them, and it becomes like an egotistical type thing, like I have these great gifts, I'm a psychic, right? And it's like, no. No, you aren't special, you aren't more special than anybody else. It isn't that you were right and you had the great knowledge and you had this. Your spirit guide, spirit is the one giving you this knowledge. It's really just a matter of, are you open to hear it? Are you willing to obey it? Are you brave enough to speak it? Are you willing and humble enough to live your life in this journey? So again, I just don't want the focus to be that we in our of ourselves are doing something so great that this is where all of this divine intuition is coming from, because it's a partnership. And many people I've seen don't realize that it's a partnership. And we don't want to leave spirit out of the equation to think that it's all us, because it's not. We are co-creating, we are working with spirit. And we need to make sure that our energy centers are open, that we are living our lives in agreement with spirit. And a lot of that, a lot of people don't want to do. So I just want to say it again. So this card is inner knowing. And the reason I'm taking some issue with some of the things is because your inner knowing is not the same when you're dealing with spirit dropping information to you psychically as your intuition. Do you know what I'm saying? Maybe you don't. I don't know if you do or you don't. But I just don't want people to misconstrue that it's not us on our own being super, super spiritual and super, super gifted that's getting this information across. It is our spirit guides bringing the information to us. And we are very humble in this equation. We're not these great advanced. I mean, my guess is when you compare humanity with the aliens that are probably out there, we're probably pretty low on a number of Rorschach tests. We're probably pretty low on the spectrum because we can't make it through a day without killing each other, without starving each other, and without, committing every act of evil imaginable as a human race. So never would I say that what God and Spirit is bringing to me is my intuition, because we need to have a humble reverence for Spirit. And it's like I'm saying, many times it's our guardian angels at work, it's our spirit team at work. People will think I had this dream, I didn't get on the airplane. And then people will be like, oh my gosh, you are something mystical, you are something magical. And it's like, no, you had the dream. There are probably other people who had the dream and maybe they didn't remember the dream, or maybe they didn't listen to the dream, maybe they just ignored the dream. So the dream, the communication, does not really make us special per se, because I believe all of us are constantly receiving communication from Spirit. What makes us special is if we're going to be humble enough to live our lives with Spirit and work with Spirit. Well, see, Ashley, I disagree with that. I believe that we are all born connected to Spirit. And, you know, to be psychic, it just means that you're connecting to Spirit, hearing Spirit, listening to Spirit. Even when you're trusting your intuition to increase your psychic development, it really begins with connecting to your spirit guides and learning how to hear what they're teaching you, learning how to listen to them. So a lot of it really isn't, and this is what I'm saying, like a lot of people think, oh, I have all these great gifts. And it's kind of like the way I look at it, right? Like some people are born and they just seem to have a talent for singing. They just seem to have a talent for painting, right? And then other people maybe don't have the best abilities to paint or abilities to sing. So they go take a class and they improve, right? But singing itself is not something that can truly be judged, because it's in the eye of the beholder. Everybody has a different experience. Everybody has a different interpretation. Singing is not something that you can truly say, I am the greatest singer in the world, because you might think that you're the greatest singer, even if you have like 20 Grammys. There's still somebody out there that will turn the music off when you sing because they don't like the way you sing. So we have to take ego out of this. And we have to realize that no matter what we're working with, Spirit will work with us. And if we are humble and willing to learn and open up those channels of communication, Spirit will use us. Spirit will continue to communicate with us. So there's nothing that makes one person or another, greater or more gifted, in my opinion, because the way Spirit chooses to use us is really up to Spirit. And it's up to us not to limit Spirit, and to make sure that we are flowing in the gifts and just open to letting Spirit use us. And so what I would call instinct, I wouldn't even use instinct here. I would just say for intuition that it's the more you work with your spirit guides, the more you work with Spirit, the more mature you get, the more you can trust what feeling is actually Spirit and what Spirit it is communicating with you. So I wouldn't even go into that type of mindset. I don't know if I just rambled on for no purpose at all. But a lot of people, if their energy centers are blocked, they can't trust their gut feeling. But sometimes, they will rely on another feeling, another psychic sense, because the whole purpose isn't for us to be getting some sort of quote unquote mystical magical power that we use and contain in ourselves. It's that we're vessels that spirit is working through to extend love to others, to bring healing and compassion and grace and mercy and things of this nature. And spirit will choose who spirit chooses, but we are all capable of operating in this psychic realm, and we're all capable of developing our gifts to hear more from spirit. Okay, so again it says, acting on your inner knowing is the correct course of action. Sometimes it might not make sense on a rational level, yet deep inside, at the core of your being, you know that you're correct. This isn't arrogance, it's having confidence in your ability to trust in yourself. And I want to add, it's also the having the confidence to trust in spirit or to trust in God. When this card appears in a reading, it means that you already know what to do. Perhaps you feel fear or trepidation to act on this instinct. The more you learn to trust this aspect of yourself, the easier following your inner guidance will become. There could be someone around you who is trying to convince you to doubt your own instincts. If this is the case, always remember to tune in before following the advice of anyone else. What's right for one person may not be right for another. Different strokes for different folks. And that is good. So our messages so far, um, we have bringing balance in here. We have bringing our lives into a greater harmony. And now our messages from the mermaid, we're developing our intuition, learning how to trust that inner voice when spirit speaks to us, and you know that this is the right thing to do, even if everybody around you says it's wrong, that now you have the bravery, the confidence, and the assurance that I'm going to do what I know is right. And I might not be able to explain it to you, but I just know that I know that this is what I'm supposed to do. And I did a reading earlier today on Fractal Flowers about Edith Cavell. And then I made an hour-long video about Edith Cavell, about the history. And then I didn't do it correctly on StreamYard, so the video had no audio. So tomorrow I'm going to redo that video. But she is such an example of this. I'm not sure if you know who Edith Cavell is, but with my Oracle of the Roses, we were studying the Edith Cavell Rose today. So she was a nurse, and she kind of became a spy, but she was a revolutionary nurse. And during World War I, she had this love for people. So she was helping enemy soldiers as well as allied soldiers to escape from the Germans. And then she helped about 200 allied soldiers not only escape, but help them with money, help them get new identities, all sorts of stuff. And well, I don't know about the new identities. It was just, I don't know where that came from. It was just the money and helping them get established and set up and putting a roof over their head while they were escaping the war. But needless to say, on October 12th, 1915, she was found guilty of treason, and the Germans executed her, shot her, with in a firing range. But she was brave all the way to the end because she knew that what she was doing was right. She had this call to serve, to help, to heal. I mean, she saved so many people. And even at the end, they couldn't break her, and that's like when you really know and trust God and trust spirit that what you're doing that is the right thing. Nobody can break you, you know and just such a beautiful example. So today we're going to get to the Goddess Power Oracle deck by Colette Baron Reed and see what message Spirit is going to add on to our balance, our harmony, our inner knowing, our intuition. And of course, I want to just take it one step deeper and say it's not just instinct and intuition, but it is learning how to be a co-creator with Spirit, learning how to not only hear intuitively, what Spirit is saying, but having the strength and the bravery and the courage to follow what Spirit says, lest we become, egotistical and believe that this is all us, because it's not. It's never all us. We're not the gifted ones. We're not the super spiritually elevated ones. You know what I mean? We are just listening and learning, but we are in service of Spirit to bring help and healing, compassion, love, grace, and mercy to others. So, I mean, who is the more spiritually evolved person? The person who never studies anything spiritual but lives their life in service, helping somebody else, or the person who believes that they have a spiritual gift yet takes advantage of everybody they meet? See what I'm saying? So, I have a Facebook spammer, so I'm going to have to block them and delete this comment. Sorry to those watching on Facebook. I know how frustrating it is to have these people try and rip you off. Okay. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. What message do you have for my collective from the Goddess deck? What message do you have? Thank you, Spirit. What message do you have? And here is our message from the Goddess deck. Thank you, Spirit. What message do you have? And it's right here. Now, if it's, I'm going to pull it towards me. If it's upright, it's empowerment. Okay, so it's reversed, it's alignment, and it's Rhea. And this is flow. Flow. Exactly, Lorraine. And there's many, many people here who, our world, our society just closes people off to their psychic gifts. Our number today here is 44. And again, this is an alignment message. Sometimes you may find yourself in a stagnant state. Oh, well, look at that. We've had stagnant show up. Was that in the fairies or the mermaids that we had stagnant show up? So we are on a theme here. Sometimes you may find yourself in a stagnant state where nothing seems to be moving. The flow between you and the universe is blocked. And this is what I was just speaking about, our intuition and opening up that solar plexus chakra, where you do get that gut knowing, your clairsentience. And you want that flow in your chakras so Spirit can come through with that beautiful white light, and you can hear and you can communicate and you can just co-create and be in service of Spirit. Let me start over. Sometimes you may find yourself in a stagnant state where nothing seems to be moving. The flow between you and the universe is blocked. This can happen when you fear that your desires won't be met, and also when things are moving quickly and seemingly in a different direction from what you expected. The goddess Rhea reminds you that when you trust the flow state, you'll find an opportunity to flow around a bend you've not discovered yet. Her alignment task for you is to let go of the branch and allow yourself to be carried on the river of your life into parts of the river you have not yet traveled through. She will ensure that although you will experience unfamiliar and unexpected things, releasing the form of it all will only result in the discovery of magic and miracles. Let go and allow the flow to do the rest. You'll be amazed at how effortless life becomes. So this is beautiful. We're seeing our message today. We're talking about balance and harmony. We're talking about letting, kind of like that saying, let go and let God. Learn how to trust your intuition. Learn how to not just learn, but have that bravery and that confidence that when you know Spirit is telling you something, that you act accordingly, that you follow it, that you have that strength to follow your intuition. When your intuition, your instinct, and your inner voice is actually connected to Spirit, and then just letting go and flow. Go with the flow. You don't have to be in control. You don't have to control all of this. You can trust Spirit. You can let go, and then your journey is going to evolve. Life is going to become much better when you don't have to control it every step of the way. So now we're going to go to the Ethereal Visions Illuminated Tarot deck our 4 card tarot reading. So this tarot reading, it's a free tarot reading, and it is not time sensitive. It's not based or limited on the energy of today. It is being drawn with the intention that whoever finds it will find it applicable whenever they find it, whenever they watch it. So at this time, I would ask that everybody watching hold a question in their mind, hold a situation in their mind. I'm going to draw first a situation, solution, advice, and outcome card from Spirit. And thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. What situation, solution, advice, and outcome card do you have for the collective? Situation, solution, advice, and outcome. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. What situation, solution, advice, and outcome? Thank you, Spirit. Right here. And our situation card is the Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords. And our Queen of Swords is not always a woman, because remember, there's no gender in tarot. This is all about energy. But our Queen of Swords, she is a woman who really knows how to use the power of her mind. All of our queens do have a strong association with patience. So whenever there's a situation and a queen is coming in to represent that, you do want to know that you're going to approach, oops, okay, sorry about that. I actually had my daughter come over. So all of our queens represent patience. So if you have a situation right now and the Queen of Swords is coming in to represent your situation, this is saying that not only do you need to have patience when you address this, but you want to approach this with the attitude of the Queen of Swords, which is honesty, bringing your experience. You want to be able to look at the situation and understand the motives, the desires of the people who are involved, or other angles of this problem. You want to be open, honest, direct. You want to be fair. You don't want any pretenses or falsities. It's going to be forthright. It's going to be honest. It's going to be true. Okay, so that is our situation. And now we're going to go to our solution card, and that is the Empress. Okay, so again, now we have the Queen of Swords here, followed by the Empress. And that Empress, again, very much similar energy. So you're going to be bringing in the energy of the Empress for your solution. And again, the Empress does have that element of patience, but it's also the beautiful element of abundance, of mothering, of being loving, of nurturing, of giving and healing. So whatever your situation is, Spirit is saying this is the attitude that you want for the solution. You also want to be somebody who's focusing on health. So because the Swords is speaking about a problem that's addressing the mind, and the Empress really does have a grounded health aspect to it that could represent some facet of your question. Now, the advice Spirit has is the Seven of Pentacles. And the Seven of Pentacles shows up when you are at a crossroads, when you've been working hard and, oh, I'm sorry, I have another Facebook spammer. I'm sorry, everybody, I gotta block and delete them. But the Seven of Pentacles comes up when you have received your reward. You've worked very hard and now you're getting, what you are owed, what you do. Things are going very well. And now you're at a crossroads, kind of deciding what comes next. So, Spirit is saying that whatever the situation is, not only are you going to resolve it with this patience, honest, forthright, healing type, nurturing attitude, but it's going to resolve to a point where you're going to be faced with where do I go next? If that makes sense. You won't be staying in the same energy. There will be a choice to be made which way you go next. And our outcome here is King of Wands. King of Wands. And again, remember, we're not discussing gender, we're discussing energy. But the fact that we were dealing with the Queen and the Empress and our outcome is the King is basically showing us that there's maturity here, there's experience, there's growth here. In the resolution of this situation. And our King of Wands almost is like what we could think of King Midas. Because we have the Seven of Pentacles here, it does make me wonder if the people in the chat right now have some economic or financial questions on their mind. Because the King of Wands is kind of like that Midas touch. So with that Seven of Pentacles, we're seeing somebody who's working hard. And again, Pentacles, it could be health, but it could be money. Our King of Wands, it's family. But again, this is somebody who really knows how to manifest some money if you need it. You know, everything he touched kind of turns to gold. So the outcome here is very, very beautiful. Our situation, again, Queen of Wands. So whatever it is that you are dealing, take on the characteristics of this Queen of Wands. Not only are you going to be patient, but you're going to be very, very logical in how you deal with this. You want to examine this situation from all sides. You want to focus on the mind over emotions. You want to be balanced, and you want to make sure that you're making right choices, right decisions that aren't just fair and balanced, but line up with your truth so that your decisions are being made in a manner that honor and respect your journey and your authentic path. Okay, so I want to thank everybody for being here today. I will be back later tonight where I will be giving the free readings. So God bless you and read the tarot.